Mhm.
I just hit record. I didn't even tell Whitney I hit record. We just
God.
got started. Good morning, Whitney.
Hi.
Hey, how are you today?
I got distracted. There was a bee out my window.
Oh no.
Make sure everything's closed. Like, hey.
I am so thankful that the Murder Hornet iteration galaxy metaverse quantum verse quantum mania did not happen.
Wait, can I tell you a funny story to start off the show?
You absolutely can.
Let's say it's about June 2020. We were still in our old place. And for those who don't know about anything about the old place, I will tell you stories about the old place. That might actually be content.
It was such a wonderful space.
It was and it wasn't. Like, I had a slumlord, to be fair, who refused to fix anything. The random squirrels that were in the walls that you would just hear every morning. I'm like, good morning, squirrels. How are you doing?
Whitney, I'm not going to interrupt your story. I just need to preface this by saying Whitney had the apartment that every girl who like runs to the big city to like start her journalism career had. It was cozy. It was enough space for her. She had
just
plants,
lots of plants,
books everywhere.
A cat, an attack cat.
An attack cat. Phoebe was nice to me though. She was cool.
You always vibed.
But
she attacked Earl many times.
She did not like Earl. But yeah, all good. It was just a perfect place. I was like, damn. When I saw your place, I was like, damn, I wish I had a place like this. It was just so warm and cozy. It was like
I tried to make it very inviting.
Yeah.
Lots of rugs and
very
so black.
Very black.
Very black and very bookish.
Yes.
Lots of books, lots of blackness. So we're packing up to move to the place that we currently live now. And we had the windows open for some reason. And I'm like, what, 3-4 months pregnant? Like, I'm just starting to pop, just starting to show. And I promise you, the timing of this, we had just watched a feature on NBC because we had the news on all the time because it was March 2020, not March 2020, it was June of 2020. So it's like, people protesting out here. Put your mask on.
The protests were in full swing during June. Yes.
Oh my gosh! And all the fireworks every night. I'm like, this is harassment. Like, there's no way. There's no way this was that's another show for another day. I'll put it on my tinfoil hat for you guys another day. We had just watched a segment about these damn murder hornets, and all of the sudden, my husband's sitting behind me at a desk. I'm sitting on the couch in front of the TV. All of a sudden we hear this buzz and both of us just like
they're here
rising slowly like the quantum menace. From my what plant was that? From my peace lily was the fattest bee I have ever seen in my life, and it immediately flew directly to Earl, who is not scared of anything but bees. So I'm sitting there with this big full belly, trying to go get a broom or something. He's swinging at stuff with the notebook. The bee doesn't know what the hell's going on. I got this raid bee stuff because I was afraid of, like, where we live. Like, yeah, it was the peak pandemic. We're afraid of everything. I don't apologize for my fears.
You should.
I survived, see? But I go to get the bee spray, and it's like a launch spray, and all of a sudden I feel so bad, like, we shouldn't kill the pollinators, or it's like, shoot it right now, gang, shoot it. I shot it, and I felt bad. I was like, oh, we killed the pollinators. He's just like scooping up the dead remains.
It's not a good pollinator if it's in my house.
Yeah, it was in my peace lily. It was doing what it was supposed to do. I just don't know how it got there, because I'm like, there's no holes in the window for it to sneak in. So I'm like, did it came in with the plant?
Maybe it came with the plant.
The plant hasn't been outside. The plant hasn't been outside for years.
Oh, well, no.
Yeah. So I'm like, where the hell did you come from? Did you just hatch? Like, are there more?
Right.
I had to go in the dirt and make sure there was no more. There were no more. But still, I was like, the random. Earl said that was the devil.
That ain't
that was Satan.
Country people love telling you when something is the devil. Flat tire, the devil.
The devil.
Late for work, the devil.
The devil.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Random bills that you actually owe. The
devil.
devil.
The devil. Let me tell you something. Thank God for good health insurance.
Hallelujah.
As an adult, we're going to get into the show in just a moment, guys. Bear with us. But as an adult.
This is the show. Y'all tune in every week to hear us be foolish.
I had a brief hospital stint. It was actually the reason why our season premiere was a week late. I was hospitalized for 2 days with some asthma complications and an upper respiratory infection. And I got the bill for that hospital stay.
Lord have mercy.
The full bill, maybe a few weeks ago. I don't know why it took so long. I guess when you have good health insurance, they be trying to build the insurance for everything. Girl, my total hospital bill. Now, I did not get surgery. There were no major medical procedures other than these people giving me oxygen, steroids, and asthma medicine for 2 days. $24,000 was my total bill. Now, out of pocket, I had to pay $300 and maybe $50. But when I saw that bill, I was like, American healthcare is a scam.
It's a scam.
It's a scam. The breathing treatments they gave me in the hospital were the same breathing treatments that I can give myself at home. The steroids that they were giving me were the same thing they gave me a prescription for. I didn't get surgery. I didn't have it wasn't Grey's Anatomy. Nothing interesting happened. They gave me cold chicken sandwiches. Lots of Jell-O and
hospital Jell-O.
$24,000 bill. Thank God for health insurance. In my old age, I thank God for things like people like, I want a Maserati. And I'm like, I just need my health insurance to never change. I need to keep this job.
Keep it.
And never change.
Thank God you're okay.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Whitney. But let's talk about, because we are recording a podcast, I think.
We are.
What have you been listening to? Anything?
Just Renaissance again. I just been getting my life with y'all's videos on the internet because I just adore it so much. And like I feel like I've been there now at this point because I've seen all the outfit changes.
Yes.
Apparently in New York, she showed her whole ass because it was Renaissance weekend. It was like the year of it was the,
you know what
I'm trying to say?
The anniversary.
Thank you. That's anniversary. What it's called.
Because she dropped it for Leo season. I know y'all like to. People say she's a Virgo, so she dropped it for Virgo season. But in reality, I think she dropped it for Leo
calendar.
But she wanted to make sure y'all knew all the lyrics for
Virgo season.
But thank you, Beyonce, because you be giving us good birthday.
A gift. She is a gift. She's a gift. How about you?
I have been listening to a gentleman named October London, and y'all know all of my music things come with a story. All of them.
I was prepared.
I had never heard of this gentleman before, but I was on therapy this week, and my therapist and I were discussing my insomnia and what I've been doing when I haven't been sleeping well. There's a reasonable explanation. It's just PMS. We're all good. Nope, don't look. Whitney is looking at me concerned and batting her eyes like, you better not die. I'm fine.
This you better not die.
3 months. But
I'll be at the funeral like, nigga, did you die? I told your ass not to die.
Yes, no. If you leave this earth anytime soon, I'm gonna be pissed at your funeral.
With an attitude, showing up to the funeral, just sucking my teeth. Just like,
yes, this bitch
gonna up and died
and just die. I cannot.
How dare you?
Oh, anyway, so she was asking me what I've been doing while I'm not sleeping, and I've been painting. So I did a painting of Marvin Gaye, and she was like, "Oh, you like Marvin Gaye? You should listen to October London." And of course, I go and listen to October London. He's got this new EP out that came out in June called Jackpot. And one of the first songs, he's talking about how he has his baddest bitch blow his dice. And I was like, my therapist recommended this, but I'm here for it.
Not therapy music.
He is a great vocalist. He's a great singer. He's done some Marvin Gaye covers. Really, really soulful. If you like Leon Bridges, you will like October London. If you like the Silk Sonic album, you're gonna love October London's Jackpot. It is the same vibe soon as you hit play. So I have been exposed to October London. Thank you for listening to my story about it. I think you guys should all check it out too. And I don't think if you listen to us, I'm just going to assume that you've heard the Renaissance album.
Yes.
But if you happen to find yourself here listening to us,
yes,
you have not heard this Renaissance album.
Why?
Why? We're like, what are you doing?
365 days, you guys.
And
all of us freaking out over and over and over again.
Exactly. And it's not about Beyonce fandom. So let me be clear. I'm the world's biggest Destiny's Child fan. I consider myself a Beyonce fan, but I'm also not like a fanatic, like I'm trying to fight people in the street for Beyonce. That's not me at all. But it is a really, really good album. If you like to dance and clean and you are a woman of a certain age, yes, it gives you the perfect vibes. So yeah, October London, and of course Beyonce's Renaissance. Yeah. Now I think this is a great place to transition.
I don't want to.
You do.
I don't.
You absolutely do.
No, because this is where it all goes back.
No, it is, but it's called the Problematic Podcast, not the Feel Good, Warm and Fuzzy Podcast.
But this week it's so bad.
So do you want to lean into this, or should I? I think you should.
Which story?
Lizzo.
There's dozens.
Nope, you know
I'm giving you the floor, because here's my problem. Y'all gonna stop breaking my heart every single week. Jonathan friggin' Majors. Now, Lizzo, I'm ready to jump out the window. If it wasn't for my child and the love of the Holy Spirit, I would be just done. Just done. Y'all, and it's the niggas. It's not like it's us. And it's us, and we're messing up and we're ruining it. And I'm like, we can't have nice things. We can't have nice things.
We can't have nice things. No. We cannot.
I feel like a mother who just came home and my house is a mess and nobody took out the chicken that I told them to let thaw, and like
Whitney.
People left their shoes on in my house. They done left the screen door open, all my air conditioners going out. That's how I feel right now.
Whitney, you are such a Black woman. I don't think you can get more African American than Whitney. I really don't.
Put some hoops on.
That's
I ain't got no,
the only way.
I ain't got no earrings on. That's the only thing.
It's amazing how hoops just up your Black girl magic by 30%.
Listen, you can be wearing sweats, but you put on a good hoop and you got your nails done.
The combination right there.
Yeah.
Oh,
I know you love it. I know you love it.
It warms my Black ass heart. I love it. So, I don't even know where to start with this story because it keeps growing. It actually keeps getting worse.
That's why maybe we should table it.
Should we?
For like a week.
We got to talk about it at least a little bit.
A little bit. We'll talk about it a little bit, but like I already told y'all how I feel about it.
All right. So I'll dive in. We got the news that a few of Lizzo's dancers who have been accompanying her on her tours and her festivals complained of mistreatment, body shaming, and sexual harassment while on tour. And for those who may be fans of Lizzo, you may know that she had a reality show called Watch Out for the Big Girls, where she auditioned dancers for her show to join her for her Bonnaroo feature, her Bonnaroo, what's it called when you're the lead artist? I forget. I'm losing my headline. She was headlining Bonnaroo, which is a huge festival, and she was picking dancers for that show and the subsequent tour. I watched the show. I loved the show. And here's what I'll say. We won't spend too long on this, but here's what I'll say. There seems to be a history of nice girls who are actually mean girls. Now, I didn't get those vibes from Lizzo, but I know a few of you did.
Oh my God.
Now, there, two of her, well, I'm sure it's more now, but at the time that I first heard the story, two of her dancers alleged that the way that Lizzo would critique them on maybe a lackluster performance or not enough energy, they were basically critiques that were veiled as body shaming, suggesting that they were gaining weight, and perhaps that's not why they were dancing as well. But if you know the show, the majority of Lizzo's dancers would be considered big girls. That's why the show is called Watch Out for the Big Girl. We talking full figured, very curvy, but very, very active and fit women. So that kind of confused me. And you know me, and you know Whitney, we are committed to believing victims. There's no reason for me to sit here and say that these women are lying or anything. I do find it interesting, though, that on the show, and I have to say this as someone who watched the show, on the show, there was a young lady who was a fantastic dancer, had her own dance studio, worked with young women in her neighborhood, but this girl had the nastiest attitude, and she wasn't meshing well with the other girls who were in the competition, and Lizzo pulled her to the side and ended up kicking her off the show because she said, this is a space for positivity. We don't do negativity. We don't do critiques that are just thinly veiled insults. She removed this young lady for all of the things that Lizzo is now being accused of. And this morning, when I was preparing myself for this podcast, I saw another article that was from a woman who was a documentarian. She said she followed Lizzo around for a few weeks, but eventually the young lady's name is Sophia Nally Allison. She said she wrote about her stint with Lizzo, and ultimately she said that it was an awful experience. She walked away after 2 weeks, and she said, quote, I was treated with such disrespect by her. I witnessed how arrogant, self-centered, and unkind she is. I was not protected and was thrown into a shitty situation with little support. My spirit said to run as fast as you fucking can, and I'm so grateful I trusted my gut. I'm not going to stay on this or belabor the point, but the mean girl syndrome being associated with a woman who promotes body positivity, who promotes girls supporting girls, and putting that out there to gain fandom. And if these allegations are true, knowing that she's not that person is nasty. And unfortunately, I feel like for the industry, it just goes to show that these things are kind of gimmicky, or things that people will do to get their name out there, to get their brand, quote unquote, popping. And honestly, I just want to have artists who are supporting women and promoting womanhood and not having this nastiness associated with it. It's kind of gross. So I'm like Whitney. I was very disappointed to hear this news.
I'm praying to God it's not true. I'm praying, because right now what you so eloquently said, we need the authenticity. We need to see people be themselves.
Right.
We need this bee will not leave me alone. I'm sorry. It just keeps coming back. Hi. Sorry. Anyway, I guess they want to be on the podcast. Hey, bee.
Hey, bee.
Stay outside. But yes, I want it so badly to not be true. I want this to be allegation. I want this to be false. But I have a bad track record of trusting people. Like, it was Jesse all the way. He was telling the truth. It was Carly all the way. She's telling the truth. Damn it, Jonathan, I adore you. And now Lizzo, and I'm like, you know what? I'm a bad judge of character. Apparently, I just be believing people. Like, yes, baby, come rest upon my motherly bosom. Let me rub your head. You need support. So I'm praying to God, because if I'm wrong, like, I just loved what she does for the women of larger stature. I love her confidence. I love her partnership with Fabletics. Like, I love all of these things, and I just want people to be real.
I want people to be real. I feel like I am at an age, and Lizzo and I are the same age. We are at an age where it has to be positivity. It has to be. Especially as Black women, we have enough going on. That we need something real and authentic. So like Whitney said, and like I've said, with the Tory Lanez thing, I'm not going to dig too deep into it or dig my heels in one way or another until we get some more facts. But it is disappointing to see the number of people coming out and reporting that, her image doesn't match her true image doesn't match the things that we, go ahead.
I just thought of something, because I wanted to circle back, because you were circling back.
Yes.
For all, and this is not on my list of problematic people, but for all the people who were like, I told you so, and I knew, I think I'm going to create a video, because every time something like this happens, there's always a contingency of people who say, I knew, and I know, and it was obvious, and why didn't you guys catch up, and why didn't you know? If you knew, why didn't you say something? No. We need to deal with this. People have excuse me.
God bless you.
People have this need to be the first person to spread the negativity.
Absolutely. Oh my God. And social media has just made it so much worse.
Awful. It's been a nightmare with y'all. And not y'all who listen, the proverbial y'all out there. And excuse me, what is super frustrating to me is that there's now this dog piling that is happening on Lizzo. The random coffee person that caught her at a bad day, the person who did her dry cleaning and she forgot to say thank you because she was in the middle of a phone call. It's like all these random people and then there's these people who have never had any affiliation with her, don't know anything about her, don't even like her, coming out just suddenly just like, I knew it. Why didn't y'all know it? I knew it. First of all, fuck y'all.
All of y'all.
And I'm not saying this as a Lizzo stan, because like I don't know much about her music. I just liked who she was and like what she stood for. My problem lies in that so many folks like just want to be the first to be the negative person, want to be the first on the dog pile, want to be the first to point out people's flaws and things like that. And it's usually do nothing, know nothing, never did nothing folks. And this is their claim to fame, that they are the person to pile on the negativity. So disrespectfully, please stop. Please. That's all I ask.
I echo that point. Social media is getting to a point where it's starting to feel, for me, a little ick. I understand that people need to be a part of the larger conversation. But also, I think we need to hold ourselves to a standard where if you would not say these things in front of the person who you're saying it about, maybe consider not saying it. Now, I have said some things on the internet, but I think most of the people in my life who know me know that I will absolutely stand in front of most of these people
and in their face
and share my thoughts.
Absolutely.
I don't think God intended, Whitney and I say it all the time, God never intended for us to know this many opinions.
Oh my God.
This many people's thoughts.
My God.
That's why the thoughts that are in our head are silent and other people can't hear them or read them.
Yeah.
I never intended, and I am guilty of this myself, of just sharing opinions really fast, or a thought pops up in my head and I'm like, I need to get it down. So it's easy to go to social media, but we got to dial some of that back, because some of the things, I saw a meme this week that said there's no reason why we should know that your baby daddy won't get your son. And that's kind of true. Remember grandmas? I know Whitney had a grandma very similar to my grandma.
Two of them.
Grandma, right. And it said, in-house business supposed to stay in-house. Family business. And I don't mean covering up for like creepy.
Nope, that's different.
Or abuse. That's not what we're talking about.
That's not what we're referring about here.
But, if your sister lights was off and you gave her money for the light bill,
why did I know that?
There's no reason for me. I didn't need to know that.
I didn't need to know that you and your husband had an argument over dishes last night, because no one can remember who did the dishes last, because both of you are delirious and sleep deprived because y'all have a new baby. I don't need to know that. Somebody wash the damn dishes.
Please.
Why am I involved in it? Why am I involved in you not knowing that you as a 26-year-old should be going on ice cream dates? I don't know why I personally am involved in that foolishness. Okay? I don't know why y'all want to tell us that you deserve to be flued out on your first date. Just as if that's something I need to know. I don't need to know that.
Please get flued out. Leave me out of it.
I am scrolling to see about y'all former president getting indicted. Like, he got more felonies than
bruh. He's basically a trap nigga when you think about it.
Essentially.
This is Bando Trump. This got a record a mile long, and he's still trying to run for. We live in the weirdest and oddest of times.
I just got a headache just thinking about it. I was like, and then you have the audacity to sit there with your imposter syndrome saying that you're not good enough. Meanwhile, mediocre white men try to take over the goddamn nation.
Right.
Oh, get your ass up,
girl,
do what you've been called
and do what you've been doing. We got to talk about this real quick. This other thing of entitlement. People not knowing how to go
Talk
out
about it.
Boy, shit.
Talk about it.
Why y'all going to concerts
and throwing shit
things? Now I know I'm gonna start with Drake, and we're gonna get to Cardi. Move with me, Whitney. Hear me out.
I'm an old woman, and I'm angry at all of you for doing this foolishness.
So I guess the trend now is, and I know back in the 60s and 70s when y'all grannies was going to these Four Tops and Whispers concert, y'all, they was throwing their panties on the stage. Draws. I ain't never been to a concert and be like, I think this is a great place to take my panties off. Never.
And never give them to someone.
But I hear that y'all been throwing y'all bras at Drake, and he been keeping track of the biggest ones that get flued on stage. That's interesting. Shout out to the girls who gotta go and get personally sized and gotta go to special shops to get they bras. They are not cheap at all. My dear friend, I'm not going to say her name on this podcast, but she just told me that she has a J cup size. And I was like, I would.
That far into the alphabet?
Yes. Which means you can't buy them in stores. She goes and sees a lady.
She goes and sees a lady.
And you got to go and see a lady. This is such a burden to bear. Now, to the other people who are throwing beer and water bottles, cell phones.
I'm going to beat y'all ass. BB Rexa had to get stitches. I'm going to beat y'all ass. What is wrong with you?
Purpose? Now, I did hear from the kids. I had to ask the kids. They throw the phones on stage, not to hit the artist, but hopefully the artist picks them up. They do a little selfie, and then they throw them back. And then you have like a really cool moment. But no. This the need for social media and to feel special.
And approval, as opposed to just being in the moment and enjoying yourself.
Y'all almost knocked that girl eyebrow loose trying to throw a phone up.
She had to sew it back on.
But y'all picked the right one when y'all threw beer at Cardi.
Listen, she let y'all know immediately. You can see the thought process come over her face in that video.
She's from the Bronx.
Y'all could throw water on her, but nothing above her hoo-ha. That's what she said.
Right.
That's what she said. She gave you boundaries. You give fools an inch, they take miles, because now it's in her hair, it's in her face. And she thought about it for a second. She said, "You know what? It's worth it."
The Bronx jumped right up out of her.
You heard the mic go boom.
It made that noise. Boom. I said, "You know what? Can y'all just go to the shows and enjoy them? Not do all the extras."
Y'all pay all this money to see these famous people.
Right.
To get close, you spend hours trying to get up close, get a good spot to throw things at them.
Right.
Like I remember hearing stories about people throwing tomatoes. Like that's why we go boo, tomato. But that's only when they're disappointing you.
Yes. You throw beer after you paid $230 to come stand out here in this here heat.
And $50 for that beer.
Come on, somebody. I don't drink beer, but I've had a glass of wine at a show, and I know they charge you an arm, a leg, and a fallopian tube.
Listen, your firstborn child.
Yes, it ain't cheap. Yeah, you know what? That just shows growth in us. Remember when we used to pregame before we would go places? Now we just buy the drinks when we get there. Listen, shout out to growth in income and salaries. Won't
Increase.
We do
it? Hey, Savior. Hey, glory. We can afford the big drinks.
We used to be like, we not buying drinks over there. Oh, okay. The growth that we have experienced when it comes to shows, we have to give ourselves credit. Ladies and gentlemen, we don't have to pregame no more. We just, go out and do things.
Hallelujah.
And pay for drinks. Do we want to dive into problematic people now? Or do we want to take a quick commercial break?
Let's take a quick commercial break.
We're going to take a quick commercial break, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back after these very quick, brief messages begging y'all to send us y'all problematic people in y'all lives. We always love to hear from you at the Problematic Podcast. So if you have a problematic question or story, feel free to email us at theproblematicpod@gmail.com, or now you can text us at 267-225-4648. Again, that's 267-225-4648. Standard messaging rates apply. We love to hear from you. Now let's get into today's problematic letters.
I just need some uplift. Like that lady who goes to a lady for her bras. Like I need some uplift.
Child, she said Jay, and I said, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
Yeah, we're halfway through the alphabet.
Okay, you're running out of letters, sis.
Okay. Goodness gracious, at some point you gotta run out of boob. Like imagine toting those things. Oh my gosh, my back hurts. Hey y'all, we back.
We're gonna get into problematic people. This is my favorite part because it's when Whitney yells at people.
All right, let's start with Edward Bloom. Do you know who Edward or Blum? Bloom. Fuck him. I don't know this man. But fuck him. He is responsible. Well, his organizations plural are responsible for taking down affirmative action in education. And this man is now currently suing a Black venture capital fund that supports Black women who own small businesses. His organization, known as the American Alliance for Equal Rights, I love how they lie. They lie because there's no. I'll explain why this is a lie. Okay. Founded by Edward Blum, is suing the Fearless Fund, claiming it's violating the Civil Rights Act of 1866, a U.S. law barring racial bias in private contracts by allowing grants only for Black women. The Fearless Fund was launched in 2019 by 3 prominent women, Keisha Knight Pulliam, Ariane Simone, and Ayanna Parsons. Blum says the lawsuit was one of the first of many, and he hopes to pursue through his Texas-based organization that currently has 60 members. They are all either white or Asian. There's a reason why I say that. That model minority myth is kicking y'all ass. Only to get to the end, and after you've persecuted everybody, suddenly it's going to be racism against you. And guess who's not going to have any allies because y'all done fucked it up for everybody else. But I'll get to that later. Y'all, how are you from a marginalized community marginalizing people? Like, anyway, back to Edward Blum because fuck him. To broadly challenge race-based policies used by private corporations. This is a reminder that Black entrepreneurs have historically faced disparities securing venture capital funding. Forever, historically. We typically receive less than 2% of the overall dollars. Less than 2%. So his organization is chasing down an organization that wants to fund a marginalized community that receives less than 2% of the dollars. Meanwhile, there's 98% going to other people. And I guarantee you the majority of that is not going to anyone with melanin.
He said, y'all can't have zilch, not on my watch.
Not a damn thing. Don't you dare specify anything. Don't you dare. I told people, I was like, if you think they're going to stop at affirmative action, you are lying.
They're not. It's going to.
They're not going to stop.
This is the civil rights chapters of your history books all over again, but with smarter computers and, social media. I hope that you all understand, and I don't say this to be preachy, but everyone's used to seeing these images of water fountains and marches and 3-piece suits, and I need people to understand that those are very antiquated. Like, when's the last time you used a water fountain? Not relevant, but the imagery that you're going to see within the next few years is going to look so different. And please, 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 please don't write it off as just crazy people being mean-spirited. This is literally people conspiring and using their money and accepting donations and mobilizing idiots to take as many rights away from people as they can. No, they don't want you voting. No, they don't want you in college. No, they don't want you funding entrepreneurs in your own neighborhoods and throughout your own communities. They're telling you this to your face. And they care so much about it that they're willing to spend their own money to make sure that you can't get any money. That's crazy. That's psychotic. Losing money to keep you from getting money is hustling back.
I mean, it's the same energy as the people who, when pools were integrated, they decided to just fill them in.
Yes.
Now you got poor Black people and poor white people who can't swim, as opposed to just sharing.
Just cutting your own nose off to spite your own face.
Spite your face.
It's wicked. It's actually wicked.
It's evil. And it's also blatantly ignorant, because how much more money could groups make if we all shared resources?
Exactly.
If we all pooled, if we all worked together? Like, this is the ignorance of racism. This is the insidiousness of racism, that you could look at a group and say, well, I don't care that I have to suffer. You still can't have anything. This one thing that I have. And it benefits who? You got to think about who it's benefiting, because it's not benefiting poor white people to fight against Medicare for all, healthcare for all, and all those programs that they're fighting against actively, because they just don't want the niggas to have it. It's not benefiting y'all. Who is it benefiting? Rich white people who could give a goddamn about you. Not at all. But they placate you by saying, well, at least you're white.
Right. It's getting ridiculous, and I just so need people to see it for what it actually is, instead of just going, oh, them people crazy. Yeah, them people crazy, but they're starting to get the numbers. Before it was like, 1 or 2 racists, fine. Now they're being bankrolled, and that is terrifying to me. So I just, we'll keep an eye on these things, but Black venture capitalists, like, it's such a small segment of existence.
Yeah.
Come on, why? Anyway,
they're gonna go after big stuff. They already went after affirmative action in education, and since affirmative action can't stand in education, it's not going to stand in hiring.
No.
So just say goodbye to that. They're going after these, and he said it in the article, in the interview, that this is just the first of many.
Many.
Expect it. Your Black Greek letter organizations, your HBCUs, your scholarships that are created, and we need to talk about why these things were created in the first place. So the reason why I read you guys those stats, including one I forgot to read, which was venture capital has actually fallen 45%. And it's fallen for Black people, 45% last year. So the little bit that we were already getting has
been cut by damn near half.
And so the reason why you have to tell people the reason why we have these things, because the insidiousness of this is saying, like, oh, you shouldn't have race-based, you shouldn't have anything that boosts you up because of your race, which is true in certain circumstances. If you had a 300-400 year head start, as opposed to me, where my ancestors were imports, not immigrants. And the racial caste system has kept us locked out of owning homes, owning businesses. Hell, when we had homes and businesses, y'all came in, torched them, and burned them down, and then pretended like it wasn't a racial issue. Right. Y'all feel this is why y'all keep getting electrocuted at Lake Lanier.
Jesus.
You heard that story?
Yes. I said, damn, he went in the water and got electrocuted?
The ghosts have had enough. They said, you know what? Another element.
We got a new trick up our sleeve for this summer.
Hello.
Finding new ways to kill people is crazy for a lake. I mean, it's crazy for a person, but it's even crazier for a lake.
You know what else is crazy? Why don't we have a horror movie about Lake Lanier?
It's coming. Oh, don't you worry. I'm sure who's that guy making the Us movies? Jordan P. Yes, he is on it. You just give him some time.
Well, I'm like, where's the movies about that? Like, and Lake Lanier isn't even, because it's Oscarville and there's another town down there, all predominantly Black towns, and they just washed them away. Chase the people out and then wash them away. Whole grave sites, schools. And
they left everything there
because they were being chased out. But there's 5 or 6 other places that are like this. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, where are the horror movies? Like, where are they at? Not that I want them, because I'm scared.
Do you watch scary movies?
Sometimes.
Oh, really?
During the daytime.
We definitely watched Haunted.
Oh, you remember that? And I was terrified. I didn't sleep right.
So good.
I didn't sleep right for a month. What was that show that we couldn't stop binging? What was that? The Haunting of Hill House.
Yes, that was so good. Go watch it, people. If you haven't, it's on Netflix.
The second one wasn't as scary.
It wasn't as good, but season 1, the twist, the turns.
Father, they knocked me out. I was like, I'm terrified, but I can't stop watching this.
Good.
Yeah.
Very good.
All right, I'm gonna ruin your mood.
Here we go.
You like libraries, right?
I love libraries.
Well, according to the superintendent of schools in Houston, Houston Independent Schools is closing dozens of school libraries to help the children learn how to read better. Yeah, you heard me. What's his name? Mike Miles. Mike Miles is closing dozens of school libraries to convert them into disciplinary centers.
I heard about this. Mm-hmm. Please enlighten me just a little more.
So he's closing 28 schools, 28 schools libraries right off the bat, and then there's 58 schools that they're reviewing on a case-by-case basis. They're also firing their media staff and their librarian staff to turn these into disciplinary centers to help the children learn how to read better. And every article that I have linked and looked at, I cannot find the common sense in any of this. And I said, this is just a school to prison pipeline.
Yes, that's what it sounds like.
That's all this is. That's all this is. You close a library to help. I am the granddaughter of a reading specialist. And the one thing that you don't do to help children read better is to take away their access to the books. The books are right there.
It seems very counterproductive.
It does. Like, if you're just lying to us now. Like, again, this is what I was talking about. You're just lying to us. Like, don't lie, tell truth.
Tell us what it really is.
You're not here for equal rights for attacking this venture capital, because if you were here for equal rights, you wouldn't have attacked affirmative action, which is funny because the largest beneficiary of affirmative action is white women, but we'll talk about that at another time. The point is they're lying to us while playing in our faces, and we have to be very intentional and very strategic with the things that we're doing to combat these issues. I'm trying to see if I have one more for you. Trying to see. Oh, I'm going to actually give you the floor for this one.
Oh boy.
O'Shea Sibley. Oh, okay. O'Shea Sibley was with his friends at a gas station.
Oh, yes. He went to the same school as my wife.
What?
He's from this area.
Yeah, no, he's from Philly, but I was like, oh my gosh.
Yes.
Tiny world.
I don't even, I'll let you start.
Okay. Okay. So he was voguing with his friends, having a good time, celebrating life, Saturday night at a gas station, just pumping gas, having a good time, right? They get approached by a group of homophobes. Things are exchanged. And O'Shea ends up getting stabbed for voguing.
For dancing. For voguing.
For having a good time. And, last week we talked about Jess Hilarious and her not so hilarious take on, trans people and how she was espousing a lot of homophobic rhetoric. And I've had some conversations with some folks, and they were just like, that video is from 2 years ago. And I'm like, yeah, and
like, doesn't matter.
The rhetoric is still out there. And it's like, y'all think that, y'all want to promote like, oh, this is my opinion. Oh, this is my opinion. Your opinion is causing the death of people. And I'm not saying that Jess Hilarious's opinion was directly influencing the death of O'Shea, but those opinions that y'all think are harmless and meaningless, but y'all really want to stand up to have rights for your rights to be hateful, they are contributing to the system that is literally killing people. It's not necessarily you killing people. And I need y'all to be smart about this and stop being intentionally obtuse to say that, oh, I can have my opinion and I think these people aren't really people. And then not think that doesn't contribute to a system that causes the death of Black queer people. Because O'Shea was literally just voguing, having a good time, listening to Renaissance.
Dancing.
Celebrating life. And here y'all come. And I heard that the person that could be connected to this, allegedly connected to this, is a 17-year-old.
Yes, a child.
A literal child.
Spend the rest of his life. Because you know how they love adding bonuses for hate crimes. And this is absolutely a hate crime.
This is a hate crime.
The entire incident was caught on camera. There's no disputing who did it. The whys may be disputed, but you did it and you're going to jail for it in the state of New York. And you're going there'll be hate crime charges and a list of other things. And now you get to spend the rest of your life around a bunch of men in a cage. Was it worth it? So I have 2 points here. Whitney is absolutely right. Rhetoric has direct impacts on people's quality of life, whether you want to admit it or not, because what happens is, yes, you have an opinion, and it can be a very shitty and stupid one, but it may resonate with someone else, and suddenly they become empowered in their hatred and ignorance. So while you may hold this very stupid opinion and not attach any justifications for violence, that does not mean that someone else out there might not hear your same opinion and go, yes, and on top of that, they should all be harmed or die, or should not be allowed in this restaurant, or should not be allowed to walk down this street, or should not be allowed to shop at Walmart or Target or go to the gas station. I need people to realize that while your opinions are your opinions and they may matter to you, if you know in any way, shape, or form that they could cause harm to other people, maybe shut the fuck up. It's free to say nothing.
Say nothing. Not a damn thing.
That's my first point. There's another point. You know, Pride was not that long ago, and I would hear people say things like, damn, they get a whole month. Damn, they're everywhere. We have to give these people spaces in our parks for this month and parades. Yeah, because when we dance at gas stations, just minding our fucking business, that gives people the license in their heads to murder us. We created a safe space, and you bitch about that, and then we operate. If you cannot vote in Brooklyn, where the fuck can you vogue safely? Let's take the orientation piece out of it. Little black boys and little black girls lead the culture when it comes to dancing. We have seen it time and time again that we've literally had to sue corporations for stealing our choreography and our dancing, naming it something else, putting it in videos. If little black boys and little black girls, or slightly older black boys and slightly older black girls, can't go out into the world and express themselves like every other teen does. Imagine your kid at home right now filming a TikTok video and they're murdered for it, regardless of their orientation. For just a moment, this young man was out with his friends dancing. I have driven down my own street where I lived and seen kids sit cameras on top of car hoods and film dance videos. That's that's a reason to murder people now. And then it's not about, again, it's about the sexual orientation, but it isn't, because you can go anywhere in America right now and see teenagers dancing, or see people in their 20s dancing. It's the fact that this young man thought he was justified enough to murder an African-American young man because of what he perceived his orientation to be. Because he was dancing. That's all he was dancing. That's it. I've seen a lot of gay people vogue. I've also seen a lot of straight people vogue because it's popular right now. Renaissance is popular right now. There are people voguing everywhere. I do not understand this idea that because I feel this way, you can't do this. I feel a lot of ways about a lot of shit. I don't go slapping cigarettes out of people's hands because I hate cigarette smoke and I have asthma, and that actually impacts my well-being. Maybe I should start slapping the shit out of cigarette smokers. I can't do that.
There's a few people we would like to slap, but
it's a heartbreaking story, and this young man is going to learn a very, very hard lesson that you were about to spend the rest of your natural-born goofy life around a bunch of other men. And guess who's going to be in jail with you? Straight men, gay men, men who vogue, all of these things. And you're going to have to deal with it.
Imagine like all the dreams that you have going down the tubes
because you can mind your own
business. Who gives a fuck? Like, for real. Like, voguing.
If voguing is offensive to you,
don't look.
Turn your back and walk away. New York is a very large city. You could have went anywhere else.
There's a lot of other things to look at in New York, I imagine.
There are. There absolutely are.
At worst, look at your phone. It's in your pocket. I'm sorry.
No, people are ridiculous and it's sad. But we're going to transition to the happy stuff.
Yes, we are.
Guys, ready? I sent out a quick blast this week because after talking about Carly Russell and trying to get the jokes out there, I really wanted to know what was the worst thing that you people
I'm so scared
have done for attention. And some of the responses I got did not disappoint. Most of them were brief, so we don't have a problem. Well, we do have a problematic story of the week. It's from Whitney. I can't wait to hear it. But some of the responses that I got, and I'd like to share these quickly with you. 1, went on a dinner date at my ex's job at Applebee's. Now, let me start here.
Wait a minute.
Yes. To make her ex mad, she went on a date at the place where her ex works. I had a few quick thoughts on this. Girl, that's risky.
That is extremely risky.
Nobody playing with my food who might be mad or jealous or any reason to poison, spit my food. I don't want.
Don't play with my food now, especially food I'm paying for. No, don't play with my food.
And also, just what if he picked up a fork and stabbed your date in the neck? Like, don't put your date in that position.
That we got there very quickly. That was a very quick transition. I was like, all right, don't play with my food. That makes good common sense. Yeah, don't murder people. Yeah, also.
Because, just imagine.
Some people are just unhooked and unhinged.
Okay, imagine you and Earl are on a date. And Earl takes you to a very nice place, a Steak 48, where his ex worked. And you had no idea, but he had an idea. And then she just walk up and slap the bun off your head. And you don't even know it's coming. Just imagine.
Oh my head.
Just imagine how risky that is.
And I'm one of those women who don't ask questions. Like, if you hit me, we're just fighting. I don't even have to ask you why. You could have been trying to flick a bee off of me, but I'm just punching you down because you hit me.
I don't need the
sorry.
I don't need the explanation. We're just fighting.
I was attacked. I was defending myself.
That is very, very risky. I just, I hope that you're making better decisions. Another one. I thought this one was actually pretty funny. It said borrowed in quotation marks. My mom's car to pick up a girl I liked from summer school. I didn't have my license yet. Now, there were a lot of things wrong. It's one sentence. You stole your mama's car. One.
You stole your mom's car to go get your badass girlfriend out of school.
Let me tell you something, young man. I hope that you are grown now. I've seen the demographics of the ages who watch this show. I hope and pray, young sir, that you realize that picking up a young lady from summer school may not have been the best choice. Stealing your mama's car to pick up a young lady from summer school. I mean, unless you were going over there and tutoring her because she probably needed some extra help. I'm not getting it. And you didn't have a license. It's just... I had a young man who's a dear friend of mine say that he has put his life in danger so many times just for the opportunity to maybe have a little bit of sex. And that young men do this all the time. And then they get a little older and go, man, we was really out here wilding.
And to get some...
yes. And I appreciated the honesty because, in our 30s, we can say, like, we were doing the things that young men will do if they think they're not even a guarantee. They won't even do
it's not worth it.
Just for the opportunity to maybe possibly have a crumb of sex, they will, with no driver's license, steal their mother's car, put themselves at risk for your mama kicking your ass, put yourself at risk for being apprehended by law enforcement to go pick up a girl you liked from summer school, not your girlfriend, not a girl who was in danger. Summer sex in a stolen car with no driver's license.
Summer sex in a stolen car. Episode title.
No,
I'm just kidding. No,
yes,
that's
yes,
not episode
yes,
title. No,
yes, yes. Please.
Summer sex in a stolen car. Everybody's gonna be like, what?
Excuse me, and tune in. The last one I picked before we get into a problematic question I have for you.
Oh, Savior.
This one was actually my favorite because I understood this young man. I stole sneakers from my job, my first real job, to match my party outfits. I always had the latest and greatest until I got fired for stealing. For those who have enmeshed themselves in sneaker culture, I just know that this young man was fly. Just had all the
right colors.
And you know, his fitted was matching them shoes.
Oh, you know.
You just know how he was
down
coming
to
with
the
socks,
Michelin everything just.
And got fired from your job.
For theft.
For
crime. For criming.
I said, you know, the things that people will do just for a little bit, just to be the guy with those on.
No.
And then to lose access because you was out here still not paying. You had a job. You probably could have got a nice discount and paid for the shoes. You was stealing them.
Right. You could wear the same pair over and over again.
Nah, it's not the same. I don't get the
I am not sneakerhead adjacent, so I don't even.
It was a time.
I don't get it. I was like, okay, feet, shoe, comfy.
When you fitted, matched your throwback Michelin S jersey, and it matched the sneakers. Nah, you were a legendary. When your green stripes in your Adidas matched your Boston Celtics jersey and had you wasn't outside. You wasn't there. You were reading books.
I will talk about at another time. I will talk about my jersey dress obsession.
Oh, you were one of those girls.
I had a bunch, and I would borrow my boyfriend's fitteds.
Oh,
to go to the little BSU dances, and we'd meet up. It's cute. We go share fries in the calf.
It was a time.
Yeah. Cute little collegiate Whitney.
I have a question for you. It's a bit of a messy question. We ain't going to even stay on it too long. But I just happened to be watching Real Housewives of Atlanta now. Don't ask that. We're not going there. We're not.
You saw
going
all the questions.
Why I was watching it, or why I was so into this particular episode. But my wife and I were discussing about how certain things happen on trips, like girls' trips, guys' trips, and you don't talk about it. You just mind your business. If you go on a trip, and I guess my question is, do you subscribe to this way of thinking? If you go on a trip and your married friend is on that trip and you walk into a party or the room or whatever, and your married friend is hugged up, kissed up, booed down with somebody other than their spouse who y'all left at home, do you part one, talk to your friend about it, or just pretend you didn't see it? And do you ever mention it once you leave this trip? Now.
Off guard. It depends. It depends on what's going on.
And what does that
depend on? So the way that it depends is if, like, I know this person, like, if this person's on at the end of this relationship.
No, I don't give a fuck what you do.
No. You have a blast. You know, just keep it safe. You know, just keep it safe. Put the sock on the door and I won't bother you. Seriously, put the sock on the door. It's none of my business.
We all know the rules.
Everybody knows the rules about the sock. See the sock?
My roommate had a big ass yellow scrunchie. When the yellow scrunchie was on the door, it was a little more discreet than a sock. Yeah. I was like, oh,
yeah.
I can't go in there.
Smart, very, very smart. That's the time to go. Hey guys, can I crash in your dorm?
Right.
Anyway, point being, yeah, it depends. If I know that they're on the outs, not that they're on the rocks, there's a difference. But if they're on the outs, that's none of my business. If it, girl, don't you have me out here asking questions, not telling people what's happening? Because I'm going. If I see you hugged up with somebody knowing that you're married and we haven't had a previous discussion about the potential to be
you
hugged
didn't
up,
warn me at all.
Nah, brunch the next day. You do whatever, because I'm not gonna come in and like bust it up. That's just not my. That's just not my
business.
I don't like doing public things that might draw a lot of attention. No, because y'all not gonna record me fighting. No. It will never be me. I'll fight against injustice. I will not fight against my friend who's trying to get whatever she's trying to get that night. But brunch next day,
baby girl.
After I order my French toast. Thank you so much. I'm handing back the menu. Thank you so much. All right, now.
Yes, between the time we placed our order and our food get to our table,
as soon as that server turns their back to walk towards the kitchen,
let me talk to you for a second.
What the hell is going on? And don't play coy with me. Don't be like, what? No, I will throw this bag at you right now. What is going on? The sunglasses have come off.
Right.
It's the island breeze. We're feeling it.
Like, are you still married? Are you not married? You got to tell me tell me
something so I know how to appropriately behave.
I side with Whitney on this. If I walk in, I'm on vacation with my married friends, and one of my married friends is doing something that don't look like she's honoring the aspects of her vows. That's none of my business. I'm not here to interfere or stop any of that. That is not my place. Let me tell you what I am going to do. You and I are going to have a conversation because, one, I need you to respect me as a friend better and not let me see this shit because you know I'm a terrible liar. Please don't ever put
me in a position to lie. Don't put me in a position to lie. I'm telling everybody, I am a journalist. I tell the story, okay?
I have a very specific lie tell, and anybody who knows me when I'm lying, they know. Listen, please don't ever put me in a position.
Don't put me in a position
where I have to lie, and don't let the lie. Like, if I can do a yes or no. Did you see? No, I didn't see that. But don't have me trying to explain stuff like, well, why was it? And y'all said y'all was, because I'm be like, I was drunk. I didn't know. I was
over at the bar getting my second margarita. I was not. I don't know what. I'm not babysitting your partner.
Right.
I'm not babysitting your partner.
I'm not here to tell on you.
But also, I'm gonna be pissed at the girl because I'm like, I sat at this wedding and I spent all this money. I done sent y'all a lovely gift. I had a dress. I spent all this time, and you had the black ass audacity to.
That is that part for me.
Please, you selfish bitch! Like, don't do this. Don't do this to me.
Please. Don't have me stand up here.
Don't do this to
me. Put on my good clothes.
Then I had to iron. When was the last time you ironed anything?
Exactly. Show up to your wedding, and then you gonna have me out here watching you cheat on your spouse? Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
I'm still not gonna tell on you or anything, but just don't play in my face like that.
I'm not gonna snitch on you, but don't put me in a position to lie. And please consider the people who had to sit up here at your wedding. We had to fly out. We had to come see y'all at your little destination where we all had to wear the same color. So I had to call several people to make sure that all of our dresses were aligned in the same exact color. Don't have me be in the wedding and then no.
Don't you dare. I will. Please don't do that.
Don't do this. I'm glad we're aligned.
We are aligned.
We are aligned.
We are going to end it on a happy note this week. Everybody, I hope that you have a fantastic week. I pray that you're still enjoying your Leo season.
As you are.
Because I sure am. Happy birthday to me. Everybody have a great week and tune in next week.
Bye.
Bye.